Captain's Log, Stardate 55864.2. The expedition, along with the Svalinn, are currently escorting the vessel USS Clydesdale that is currently towing a new starbase toward the edge of Federation space. Mendrock is currently on board the Clydesdale to help maintain some of their older systems, as well as work with some of the engineering staff to help boost the speed of the convoy. While we haven't crossed a path with any pirates in this region as of yet, I do expect to run into something near the region of space known as the Echo Fields. Hopefully, the modifications to both ships will nullify any tactical advantage that any would be pirate have. End Captain's Log.
Okay, so the convoy has been traveling um, along the route that you guys predetermined for a few days now. You're still traveling at about the warp 7, I think you guys said was the max tow speed.
Yeah, about warp 7 was the max they can do, but there might have been some wiggle room that you can eke out of it.
No, I'm just getting a feel for what's going on.
Yeah.
So, as the log stated, the engineering teams have been kind of brainstorming together on ways to try to increase the speed of the convoy just to get there sooner. You are the planned date to get the starbase anchored is fastly approaching, and unless you increase speed, you are going to miss that deadline. So, um, we could have Lieutenant Commander Rost be working on that on the Svalin. Mostly because Mendrock is couldn't be here today for real life issues, so I threw him on the Clydesdale. So basically, Ross has been spearheading that operation. So we'll go ahead and throw it on the Svalin's bridge. With you starting to work on that. How many players do I have tonight? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 players.
Enough to have an alarming amount of threat.
Yeah, 14 threat, because I don't count.
All right, cool. So for the sake of momentum, both ships, I will allow both ships to keep their own momentum pools. So that also means that you couldn't share between the ships. So, yeah.
Say that again, so we could like share. So Svalin and Expedition can give each other momentum.
let me put it this. Let me phrase it this way. I'll leave it to the players. Either both ships can keep their own separate momentum pools. This would ultimately allow you to have more momentum, but you could not share it. Or you guys can share one momentum pool, which would still be the maximum of 6 for both ships. I will leave that to you guys to decide.
Would never complain about an opportunity to have more total momentum in 2 pots. Even if we can't share it, that would be a lot more momentum for the players.
Yeah, good idea.
Let's keep them separated. It sounds like the way everybody wishes to go, so.
All right, cool. So yeah, each ship may keep their own momentum pools. If for any reason players end up on one ship or the other, they would use whatever ship's momentum pool they are on. So if Commander DeGrasse, for example, were to go to the Svalin, he'd use the Svalin's pool, and vice versa. Make sense? Everyone on the same page?
I do have one question.
Sure.
If we want to spend momentum to set up like an advantage that the other ship could use, could we do that?
I will rule that on a advantage by advantage basis. I won't rule it out. You just have to, just like everything, you'd have to sell me on it. Okay, so Lieutenant Commander Rost. How do you say that last name?
Rost.
Rost. Okay, Commander Rost. You have been working for the last few days on a way to attempt to speed up the fleet. So I have a roll for you. This is going to be an insight or reason with your engineering score, difficulty 1. And do keep in mind you do have the chief engineer advantage if you'd wish to use it in some capacity.
Insight or engine?
Insight or reason,
Insight or reason.
whichever is higher. All right, so you bank a momentum. And there you go. And your formation, just so I have that clear, currently the Svalinn is about half a light year ahead of the convoy, being an advanced scout. Am I remembering that correctly?
Yeah, they're about half a light year ahead,
Cool.
serving as vanguard, and then the expeditions following up behind the Clydesdale at whatever distance he feels comfortable.
Say Rust to Calder.
What is it, Agas?
I think we might be able to get a higher max speed if we combine our warp bubbles from each ship around the starbase.
How
So
long?
we'd have to.
How long would it take you to do so?
We'd have to bring those ships into position, and so it should be fairly quickly if we can get everybody lined up.
Okay.
We'll need to coordinate the Clydesdale, the Expedition, and the Svalinn.
Okay. Uh, m- uh, make preparations for that. I'll tell Helm to plot a new course.
Roger that.
I will hail the expedition and relay Augustus information to them.
Let me go ahead and pull up. So on the expedition, where is everybody at? At their duty post?
Yes.
I'm assuming duty post. Captain, are you in your ready room or on the bridge?
I'll be in the ready room. It's fine.
Oh, sorry, what was that?
Ready room.
Okay. Commander, we're receiving a hail from the Svalinn.
Put it through.
And on screen is their captain.
Ah, Commander Calder. To what do I owe this pleasure?
My EXO found a way to improve our total speed to make the deadline.
Ah, excellent. What does this entail? How long would it take?
It's pretty simple. All we got to do is combine the warp bubble of all 3 ships to improve the overall warp speed we can move.
Okay, excellent. Do you know if this plan presents any dangers?
I think the only thing would be is the Svalinn would no longer be Vanguard and would decrease our uh, threat detection.
Okay. Well then, if you could relay whatever technical requirements we would need for something like this, I would appreciate it. And I'll get in touch with the captain and see what she says.
Okay. Uh, I'll have Gasu relay the info to your engineering crew.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Commander.
Svalinn out.
DeGrasse taps his comm badge. Commander DeGrasse to Captain Prax.
Go ahead, Commander.
Commander Calder just let me know that the Svalinn may have come up with a plan to well, combine our warp bubbles and get us there a little faster. On the downside, Captain, as you know, the Svalinn is currently leading the way. This might bring her back a bit and interrupt our formation.
Understood. Do a threat analysis on the potential for this to see if whether or not. I mean, granted, it would probably shave off some time, but look over the technical details and then do a threat analysis on the see if whether or not it's worth or not to do this plan.
Okay. Understood. Thank you, Captain. DeGrasse out. And let's see here. Yeah, so DeGrasse is going to communicate down to engineering to request essentially an overview of the technique and make sure it passes muster on our side, like we're capable of servicing that with the ship. Shouldn't be an issue. And then he'll also ask Coda to conduct a threat analysis based on the position of the ships.
Okay. So engineering gets back to you. Basically, all the ships are doing is just expanding their warp bubbles out to kind of form one giant warp bubble that encompasses the starbase to make it easier to move. You know, basically, you're throwing the starbase inside your own warp bubbles and making it easier to warp the thing. So your ships are capable of doing that, and having all three do it decreases the burden on any one ship to do, therefore not damaging the systems. So there's no risk to any equipment or ship's functions by doing it. As for Coda, she would require a roll. So whoever wants to grab Coda, it will require an activation to get the roll off.
Probably have to activate her anyway. I'll go ahead and just roll for her because I got the sheet pulled up.
All right, this is probably going to be. Let's see. You're trying to do a threat analysis on being attacked, correct?
That was my understanding. Yes.
Okay. So this is going to be insight security. I will make this a difficulty 1.
I'll worry about adding stuff for her later. Take a threat.
I do enjoy threat. Okay, you gain 2 momentum.
Currently, Commander, with our advanced probes launching in advance of the convoy, we haven't detected any vessels or ship activity along our path. The relatively threat level is low.
Understood, Coda. Thank you for the analysis. DeGrasse will tap his comm badge and let the captain know. Everything seems to be in order from an engineering perspective, and let her know that the Coda's assessment came back that there should be no danger.
By all means, feel free to do that in character.
Commander DeGrasse to Captain Cracks.
Go ahead, Commander.
Captain, it seems security came back. There shouldn't be an issue with any threats to the ships. Engineering came back, cleared the plan on our ends. Shouldn't cause any damage to any systems. So I think we're good to go. If you think so.
Very well. Go ahead and proceed with the plan.
Understood. DeGrasse out. Ops, open a channel to the Svalinn.
Aye, Commander. Who normally does your comms on the Svalinn?
An Ensign Bailey.
NBC, right?
Yep, NPC Bailey.
Commander, we're being hailed by the expedition.
On screen.
Oh, where's this token? There he is.
Commander Calder, looks like the captain is all on board with the plan, so let us know what we need to do, and let's get there a little faster.
Okay, I'll have Ross send the needed information.
All right, thanks so much. Expedition out.
All right, Commander Calder, what's your orders?
I have the Svalinn begin decreasing war factors for the rest of the convoy to catch up, so we can begin positioning ourselves for the warp bubble.
Okay. Your con officer starts setting a course for the convoy. All right, so we'll go ahead and speed up time a little bit. All the ships, so the Svalinn rendezvous with the convoy, the expedition, and the Clydesdale. Lieutenant Commander Rost. It's going to take me a
Rust.
while to get that. Please correct me every time I get it wrong. Commander Rost sends the information to the expedition on the positionings needed for each vessel. So what I'm going to need from each ship here, to adjust and expand your warp bubbles out to overlap with each other and to surround the starbase. This is going to be a control or daring with engineering, difficulty 2. It may be assisted by your ship's engineering and what would this be? Structure engineering, I think. Yeah, let's go structure engineering. All right, so just need the main roll from the Svalinn and then the main roll from the Expedition. We have the assist from the Svalinn. So I just need Russ to make the roll and then somebody on the Expedition to do it as well.
Do we have our support crew on the legal 20?
We don't, but if there's anyone you need let me know, and I'll just grab their
Magnus.
stats.
So I mean, control and engineering.
Control or daring, whichever you like.
I have a focus in starship propulsion systems. Can I use that as a focus?
I'll give you that at increased complication.
Yeah, I'll stick with it. Just regular then.
Shame you would have got 2 successes on that. The Svalinn crew does pass. You got your 2 successes. Just need the Expedition now.
If someone wants to roll for Boris, they can.
I'll do that.
Casey's not here to do the voice. Right, Nadan, for Boris, it'll be control or daring with your engineering score, diff 2.
RNG likes me today, apparently.
Apparently. So that is 5 successes from the Expedition, so that is 3 momentum gained. Okay, so all 3 ships extend their warp fields out and combine them to surround the starbase. Now what we need is a con task in order for all the ships to maintain their positions. So each ship is going to have to give me a daring or control with con, difficulty 2, assisted by the ship's engine's con.
Do you want the Svalinn to go first?
Whoever wants to go first. Does not matter.
Author, can you get Max's stats up?
I have it up.
Do they have bold?
They have cautious.
Okay. Spend a momentum to activate cautious, and what's the difficulty again?
It'll be diff 2.
Okay.
Control con. They have a control 11, con of 5, and they definitely have a focus in flight control systems.
Yep.
Okay. You do That, and I'll roll the ship, which is
Engines con.
okay.
What was his discipline score? Is it a 4 or a 5?
Discipline's a 5.
All right, so that's 4 successes there. The ship does not help. So you gain 2 momentum out of that, so you're at 2, I believe. Because I believe you spent 1 momentum. All right, then I just need the expeditions roll.
I can roll it.
Cordial.
Yeah. Did you say daring con or control con?
Either.
Gotcha. Alrighty. And he has bold con, so take a threat. And then a focus on in-flight control systems. So
Threat for days.
boom.
All right, that's 4 successes there. Just need the ship. There's 5 successes. That's 3 more momentum for the expedition.
We should have 1 less momentum.
Oh, yeah, I can fix that. Fixed it.
So expedition, I think, has float.
Can you spend the 2 float on to create the advantage that if we were to have to do this again suddenly, the difficulty is reduced for all ships.
Yeah, I'll allow you to program what you guys just did to the computers to make this easier. Works for me. Okay, so all the ships are in position. Their warp fields are synced. All the ships are reading ready to go to warp.
So the Gross will say, ops, relay to the Svalinn that we're ready to go when they are.
Commander? Commander, the expedition is reading as ready.
Okay. Tell them to begin warp in 10 seconds.
Aye, Commander. They have given us a countdown, Commander.
Okay, let's stick to it.
And at the end of the countdown, the entire convoy, with their cargo intact, is able to increase their speed to about warp 9. I believe that gets you there pretty quick. Quicker. Top speed 9.2. That works for me.
The thing with that increased speed, we might make it early.
So a few hours go by. And I just sent both science officers some information.
Captain, I'm detecting some ice particles ahead.
How far and total mass?
About 250,000 meter area.
How long till they hit?
GM did not give me that information.
It's about 500,000 kilometers away. Along your path, but
500,000 kilometers at this speed is like nothing. We'd be dead already.
oh, that's why you guys got to decide if you want to drop out of warp or not.
Captain, I'm noticing a field of ice particles ahead that should not be there.
Do you know if it presents a danger to our ships?
Ice should not, but they shouldn't be there, so whatever caused it might, Captain.
They're done with the promotions again.
There can be a few captains on the ship, you know.
Sorry, Commander.
No worries. No worries. Okay. I'm sure the Svalinn has picked it up as well. Let's see what they say, but we may need to drop out of warp suddenly.
Aye, Commander. I will flag whatever could cause ice to cover such a large area would be a catastrophic impact or some other unexplained phenomena, but would be highly energetic or forceful, one or the other, or both, Commander.
Understood. Do you think we can go around it? Or is it too big?
It's about 250,000 square meters.
So pretty big.
Aye, Commander.
All right. Ops, patch us through to the Svalinn.
Aye, Commander. Commander Calder, we're being hailed by the expedition.
On screen.
250 kilometers is probably about the size of Kansas.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
Commander Calder, I'm sure that you all have picked up the same thing that we have.
Yes. I was about to check if this is a genuine or one of the sensing ghosts goes on, unless we already passed that path on a map.
Understood. It's a good idea. We certainly don't want to get spooked by any phantoms.
Yep.
Actually, on the captain's point, can I ask Khan how far away we are from the echo fields?
We're still a ways away.
Okay. Well, Commander Calder, we might be a ways away from the echo fields, but it wouldn't hurt to check to see if this is really there. So if there's any way that we can help, or if you want us to take the lead on the scan, we're more than happy to.
We have both the ships scanned because we both have because both ships have advanced sensors.
Perfect.
Dropping out of warp.
Commander Calder, unless you feel otherwise, I'm about to give the order to have the expedition to drop out of warp.
Yes.
Okay.
We'll do. We'll drop out of warp on your mark to prevent any confusion.
Understood. I'll have my con relay the slowdown. I guess that's what you would say, just to make sure that our combined warp bubble and decelerating inside of it's not going to cause any danger to our ships.
Aye, Commander.
Above game GM.
Oh, sorry, what was that?
With how I explain what happened at the end of Svalin's session on Thursday, was I able to explain what went down on there?
Yeah. This is a few days after that event, so I'm sure either Captain Prex got the report or you told her at some point.
Yes.
If you wanted to.
Okay, so they know that we had an encounter with Q.
Yeah, they would if they got the report, which I think they did. But you could fill them in really quick with the bullet points if you want. In case they don't know. More so if the players don't know.
I mean, with the captain already know, I imagine they would tell their crew. Hello?
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. So yeah, it wouldn't be a problem. Both ships know that you had the encounter.
Okay.
As for the specifics, you guys can roleplay it out later. If you wish. Yeah, we'll get to the sensor scans as soon as the drop to warp is given. Just handling some meta stuff. So yeah, I'll just go ahead and say that someone was given point to drop out of warp, and that convoy drops out of warp. Captain, from your ready room, you have felt the fleet drop out of. You felt the expedition drop out of warp. In the meantime, while that's going on, I'm sure Captain's probably going to storm onto the bridge any moment. But the science officers, Nadan and L, you may go ahead and give me a reason or control with science difficulty 1, assisted by your ship's sensor science. So I think that makes it a diff 0 for both ships, if I'm not mistaken.
Sorry, Boris Sokolov should be Nadan.
Yeah, that's fine.
My bad.
Yeah, sensor suite would make it a diff 0 on both ships.
Ship is better than me this time.
What was it? Reason science?
Reason or control, whichever you like.
Focus sensor operations.
Yep. Oh wow.
Ooh. That is no bueno. Let me use value. Throughout the handbook, wrote my own. Whatever the complication is, had a sensor glitch, had to work fast to fix it, and reroll both of them. And I use my medal that gets me 2 uses on this use of determination, so I get an automatic 1 for 2 successes and reroll the pot.
What medal is that?
It's like 4 or 5 medals. I forget the name of each one every time. So look it up. The Cochrane Medal of Excellence.
I'm not sure that applies to rerolls.
It's anytime you use determination.
They received 2 benefits. Yeah, sure. So that's your determination spend for the episode.
Unless I burn a milestone later.
Right. Yeah, go ahead and re-roll one of them then.
It's can.
Oh wait, no, re-roll both. Sorry, re-roll both. Yeah,
but
re-roll both.
But I get 2 uses of the determination. One's the re-roll, and one is
one's
the
yep. Yeah, so this is just to see what those 2 dice get you. Still gives me a complication. All right, just need your ship sensors.
I'd rather take the 3 successes than the 2 crit fails.
Yep, just need your ship sensors. Who has a Svalinn ship? There we go. All right, so you have 4 momentum for the Svalinn. You can use 2 to squash the complication if you wish.
Yes, squash, please.
All right, so you gain 2 momentum out of that.
Captain, we have there's a creature inside the ice.
Commander, these are inside the ice, and I'll put it up on screen.
L also put the picture on screen.
Yep, that image is on both ships.
They appear to be dead, Commander.
Lieutenant, try to find out what that is. And he taps his comm badge.
Hi, Commander.
DeGrasse,
Expedition does have 3 float.
DeGrasse, Captain Prax.
Go ahead, Commander. What's the issue?
Captain, we're probably going to need you out on the bridge.
Very well, on my way.
Thank you. DeGrasse out.
All right, Nadan, that is your first question. This does not conform to any known species.
Oh. Commander, this is a previously unknown life form.
And Captain, when you come to the bridge, you see that on screen. Inside a ice field, just imagine there's ice all around it.
I'm assuming for the sake of time had been brought up to speed in character.
I believe that was directed at you, DeGrasse.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear it. What was that?
I'm assuming I was brought up to speed on.
Yeah, on what we're looking at. I can roleplay it. Captain, thank you for coming out so quickly. As you can see, we ran into a bit of a situation. The lieutenant here has informed me that, well, these creatures appear to already be deceased, and they, well, we can't find a match in our system.
Do we know the cause of their death?
Lieutenant Nidon?
At present, no, Captain. I'm running further scans.
Any ships in the area?
For the expedition, what killed it will be in a different role. You can't tell it from out here. You do not detect any ships on sensors.
I don't detect any ships on sensors, Captain.
Understood.
What I need. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
What role would I need to determine what it was that killed them?
I have one set up. I'm just going to take care of all the questions before we set up that role. And also, the expedition has 3 float. On the Svalinn, do you have any questions for the information I sent? If you're the science officer or ops, you get a free question, and I'm not sure about your talents.
Can we compare this to any other thing that we've ran into before?
It is totally unique from anything you experienced.
I think more. What about doing some form of long-term cross-examination with other reports from previous ships?
That's basically what you guys did. It does not come up on any of the databases.
Okay. Do we know how long it would take to pass this ice field and then resume to warp?
Oh, sorry, what was that? I got a message, sorry.
Do we know how long it would take to pass through the ice field and then going back to warp?
It shouldn't take you that long to get through the ice field. It's it's only 250 meters wide. It still might be wise to go around, but that won't take much time.
Okay.
Maybe a half hour delay, which is nothing.
Yeah, the pulse.
We'll need that would be on that other scan. They're done.
Oh, okay. Perfect.
So if there's no more questions on that info, the float, what would the expedition like to do with that, if anything?
Well, real quick, are there any energy signatures inside the ice field?
None.
Let's drop a subspace buoy to mark the location for future study. Unfortunately, we cannot begin in a study of this phenomenon, we do have a Starbase to deliver.
Understood, Captain. Lieutenants, could you see to the buoy, please?
Yes, Commander.
Rostar's literally just typing that down.
Um, Captain, I may suggest if we want to get a start on the study, we could beam one of those life forms aboard. It's probably not overly critical, but it is an option.
Very well. Follow all containment procedures.
Aye, Captain.
So they're gonna. So the expedition is sending a buoy and beam one on. I'll head to the Svalinn for role play on that.
L has a habit of just doing more advanced scans, anyways. So, but without it even being said,
I think I would try and help organize the flotilla to set up the safest route through the ice field to circumvent in time.
Okay.
Would that be a command check or a con check?
That would be a con check. I'm thinking probably insight or reason con.
Then I would like to direct Magnus.
Sure.
Spend a momentum for Magnus to activate cautious.
Oh, and if the expedition could give me a difficulty, what would it be? 2 transporter roll, please, for the specimen.
Can we
Just so
just
I can knock out both rolls.
can we just use the float we had?
That works for me too. And then we just need Magnus's roll for the reason or insight con diff 2.
Arthur, can you go for Magnus?
Fuck.
what would you like?
There we go.
A more in-depth scan to find out what kind of life form it is.
I have a thought for that. I might have you beam over to the expedition to get a first-hand look at the thing. You know, dissection and such.
I'm gonna go my direct. Someone roll for the ship if the ship needs to go.
Probably computers con. Is there a focus for Magnus? Would not be flight controls. This would be like plotting a course or something along those lines.
Oh, astronavigation.
That'll work. 7, so you get 5 momentum out of that.
Okay.
Magnus reports to you, Commander Calder, that the ice field is starting to dissipate, so deflectors should be able to handle it, but he does recommend a slight course correction to get through the thickest of it.
Okay. Let's use. Okay. Let me first add the totals so we can figure out how many floats. Two to cut to reduce the time
Yeah.
and do the last one and one of the in another momentum for the another advantage to say that because the for another scan because there's no ice in the way for a scan forwards.
Yeah, this is the only ice your ships are detecting.
Well, more like in case well more of a scan for stuff in front of us, like ships or stuff like that.
Yeah, your sensors are not detecting anything, but you could set it to where it's constantly scanning for either more ice or more ships. So
Yeah, yeah,
that'll work.
that sounds good. So
So
that would be
yep, that'll take care of all
yeah,
your float. Okay. So the expedition beamed a sample aboard, a specimen on board. It is in the science lab. So Nadan, you can do that roll if you wish. You could probably also ask the doctor to join you. And it would be possible too at this point, especially since the ships are stopped, to beam over the science officer from the Svalinn if they wish to join you in the study. If not, they can stay on the ship. Totally up to you guys.
Okay. Can you please repeat what the roll was?
Have not said what it was yet.
Oh, okay. Perfect.
I was just trying to get everything handled and taken care of. Gonna set up that roll now though. And then yeah, so since you guys set up that advantage, it takes you nothing to get back up to warp after you lay the sensor buoys. And Nadan heads down to her science lab. If I could find where that is. Where's the good one? There it is. To begin the study of the specimen. Nadan, feel free to bring in whoever you want/need to.
So if anyone from the Svalinn likes or wants to join, they're welcome to.
I think if I call L wants to above game.
Yeah, can go over there.
Otherwise, I'll probably ask. 1 sec. I'll ask Solva to take my spot on the bridge while I'm doing this. Just so that they still have somebody who is good at sciencey stuff on the bridge. And yeah. And yeah, I will bring the doctor in.
All right, so is that who's here? Or should I place anybody else?
That should be good.
Okay, so I'll let you guys have a little role play here for what you guys want to do. So Nadan, the doctor, Dr. McPherson, and Lieutenant L all arrive in Nadan Science Lab with the specimen in a containment field here. Just from looking at the specimen, it stands about 1 meter, in length, maybe half a meter across. It does form kind of like I don't know. The best thing I can describe it is, well, you saw the picture. I'll bring the picture back up. Why do I need to describe it when I have a picture? So that in the containment field is about 1 meter by a half meter.
Okay.
So from end to end is 1 meter, and then from side to side is a half meter. The skin looks to be very hard. It's kind of like almost like a shell. And these, you could, just by looking, you could kind of tell that they're used for movement in water. So that you get just from visually looking at it.
Interesting.
Weird. What are they doing in space? Thanks for joining us, Lieutenant.
Anytime. Above game, GM, how big is the creature?
What's that?
How big is the creature?
1 meter at its longest point. Okay, so in chat, I don't think I placed it in the right spot. My mistake.
Oh.
I put it in the wrong chat. My mistake.
Us? Who's probably the best to take point here? I will admit, xenobiology is not my strong suit.
In that case, it would probably be the doctor, as I have extensive studies in xenobiology.
Feel free. I will be happy to back you up there, Doctor.
All right, Doctor. So since I think it was decided that you're taking point on this, the role is it's either going to be reason or insight using your science or medicine. This is an extended task with a difficulty 4, magnitude 4, work 18, resistance 2.
Okay, I'm glad you said it was reason or insight.
But just because you've given me all this threat, I'm actually going to make this with how alien it is. I'm going to make the resistance 4 and the difficulty 5.
Okay.
Because I believe you have like super duper medicine skills.
No, not for this type of thing. For surgery, yeah.
Oops. Oh well. It stands.
I mean,
I already spent it.
This is exploratory surgery.
I mean, it could be dissection if you really want to go that route.
Well, we are trying to gather all the information we can about this creature. But the talent that I have is surgery savant, and so it wouldn't even. Wait. Yeah. When attempting a medicine test during an extended test related to surgery. So,
Yeah, autopsy is not surgery.
yeah.
Okay, so yeah, you got the doctor doing the main task to assist, and then you have a ship assist. Oh, what do I want to assist with? Computers, science, or medicine.
Mm.
I don't know if you have advanced science labs.
We have advanced research facilities.
What does that do?
Whenever a character on board the ship attempts a task to perform research, and they are assisted by the ship's computers plus science, the character gains 1 bonus momentum, which must be used for the obtained information spent.
Oh, there you go. So if you decide to use computer science, you get some extra question asking power.
Get expertise as well as a research focus if there's something I can do to, like a single task to cut the difficulty down a little bit.
Oh yeah, you both have like testing a theory and theory in the practice too.
Yes,
I don't have that.
I do.
I do.
I have. Yeah.
So maybe doctor assist on this one.
Yeah, it might be better. Because
Alrighty.
while overall with reasons medicine, I'm rolling a 16.
This break down to 2 tasks. First, a research portion, and then an actual biology portion.
Nadine, why don't you go on ahead and lead? I think your reason science is fairly good.
Yeah, I'd roll 17 on that.
Yeah, and then I'll just assist you with my xenobiology focus
Okay.
with reason medicine.
Alrighty.
All right, so
Yeah.
Nadon's taking point.
I guess so.
Yeah, mainly because a lot of my talents don't fire.
Hold on, now before you roll, it's difficulty 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll
I was
pretend I,
also
didn't
looking-
see it.
Too late. Can I spend my determination to re-roll the complication?
I don't.
Sorry, what was that?
I will say just this one time, because I'll be nice. I did not see the rolls yet. So this gives you the opportunity to decide what you guys want to use resource-wise.
In that case, I would spend my determination initially to get the guaranteed success.
What value?
Collaborative problem solving yields better solutions.
That would apply here, yes.
2 momentum.
And then I'd spend a 2 momentum to squash the.
I'm gonna have everybody re-roll.
Oh, okay.
I counted none of those rolls.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
So if there's
That
any more
was-
momentum you want to spend, you got to do it now before you roll.
Alrighty, then in that case, in addition to spending my determination to get a success, I will also spend momentum to gain 1 extra die.
All right, so that'd be 2 momentum. So Nadan, you will roll 3 more. Doctor, you may roll 1, and Kel and L just rolled his.
Alright.
So, and then I also need the ship.
Why in the world is it rolling double for me?
Yeah, I'll take the first result because I like that one better.
Yeah, I know.
Right, so that's 5 successes from Nadan plus 1 from L, so that's 6. Ship doesn't help, and the doctor gave you a complication, so you get 1 momentum out of that.
We spend to quash the complication.
Right, down to 3. Go ahead and roll. That'd be 7 challenge dice.
Okay.
Would strongly suggest spending the 2 momentum to get -4 off the resistance.
Yeah,
Wait,
let's do
wait for
that.
the roll first.
Okay.
regardless
Wait,
of the
wait,
roll.
wait for the roll first.
Because you might need to reroll.
I
If
will
you want.
reroll.
Reroll 4.
And you still got the 2 momentum.
Yep.
That's better.
So right now it's 9. Right now you have 5 work being done, which is a breakthrough.
That's enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
Save it.
I'll save it then.
All right, now I got to remember what we got here. So this will be. So this actually goes down to difficulty 3, magnitude 3, work 13.
Theory into practice between the 2 of us stack.
No.
I get testing a theory and theory into practice on this, though, right? Because we just succeeded at one.
Yeah, you do. It doesn't work for assist rolls, unfortunately.
That's fair.
Before I do that, let me give everybody a piece of info so you can role play. And that should say the creature is 1.
So, seems our initial impression was correct. This is an aquatic creature.
Yes, that appears to be. Curious the way it was found in space, though.
I have no idea. This isn't a large enough area for it to be like a planetoid that met some bad end. Maybe a ship came through and had to jettison them for some reason?
Either that or this creature is able to survive in space for a prolonged period of time before having to go back to water.
But how would all the water get here? And how would it get here, for that matter?
Well, I guess that's what we're here to find out.
Fair enough.
All right. This next roll is going to be a difficulty 3, magnitude 3, work 13, resistance 2.
Okay. Does that include my testing a theory and theory into practice, or no?
One of them decreases difficulty, doesn't it?
Yes.
Difficulty 2.
Testing a theory does, and I get an extra die.
Yes.
theory into practice.
Theory gets the extra die. Theory into practice reduces the difficulty by 1.
Right. Thank you.
They're both in play.
Yep. Unfortunately.
I think I'll hold on to the 2 momentum we have in case we need to quash a complication, because it's shaping up to be that kind of a night.
Yeah.
Which is good for me.
So I'll just stick with the 3 dice I get from my talent tree.
Come on, misses. Oh. Not to watch all the assist hit, minus the ship. Ship is no help. You gain 3 momentum from that. Go and roll me 7 challenge dice. So right now I'm counting 6. Minus the resistance, right now you're doing 4.
Just one for piercing.
That would be a full 6.
I'll do that, yeah.
So resistance? Yeah, resist. Yeah, that works. So that's a breakthrough.
Yep, let me get you the next part.
Interesting.
Where would be like the nearest planetoid that with bodies of water? Closest thing to our current position, besides the, sort of a field of ice, which very well could have been water at one point and has since frozen. So either this thing has been floating in space for a very, 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 very long time, or this body of ice was once water and likely where this used to live.
Possibility. Still strange, though.
This would have made a great scientific method too.
Yeah.
Oh, the night is young. So if you're done with roleplay for that one, the next one will be difficulty 1 adjusted, magnitude 2, work 7, resistance 2.
Alrighty. I will keep with my talent tree. What was the thing?
Doctor assist.
Oh, yeah, give me a second. Sorry.
Gain 4 momentum.
Awesome.
7 challenge dice, please. Right now you're only doing 2.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I'll re-roll the failures.
Right, roll 3.
Ah, damn it. Sorry.
I'll just take the first 3.
That works.
So right now you are doing 3 work.
Okay. I'll spend to make it penetrating as well.
Right
Or
now you're doing a
piercing.
full 5. I'm not sure if you have any float or not.
Those were the 2
Yeah.
float.
Oh,
Okay. So right now you still have 6. Right now you're doing 5 work.
yeah.
You are 2 work away from
I'll
completing.
just spend the 2 to.
Yeah. Let's do that. Agreed.
Contact the Svalinn and direct them to see if any other ships have scanned or come through recently, maybe on similar trajectories.
Oh. Passed away recently.
Recent.
Define recent.
Within the past few hours. There's also gills on the underbelly, and it seems that this creature is a juvenile.
Yes, we should scan to see if there's been others like it or other starships that have been through this area recently.
All right, so that I'll use that for the question. In that field, there were a few other bodies of this one. This is just the one you took, but there were a couple in that field. As in terms of ships, there have been no ships that passed through this area within the last few days. Probably even longer than that. Probably weeks. We're talking.
Can we tell if there's any alive in the field?
No, they were all dead when you scanned it.
So the big question for L right now is, how did this icy field come to being right here? And he'll pose that question to the Lieutenant Dan.
Your guess is as good as mine, to be frank. I'm not sure. No ships came through recently. That nixes my top contender, which was going to be that somebody had jettisoned them, had them in a hold or something.
That was going to be my guess too.
This actually might be a good opportunity for scientific methods still.
I can give you scientific method if you want to try to figure out where it came from. I will tell you it will be very difficult.
Challenge. I will ask Dan if we want to put together this hypothesis and try to figure that answer out.
Probably a good idea if we have the time, because whatever befell these creatures could befall us if we don't know what caused it.
Should we at least make a report and see if we should continue this?
Yes. Yeah, I think that's a plan.
Elle says, I'll defer to you. We're on your ship.
I'll write up the report and send it off to Captain Prax then.
Feel free to put all the bullet points in general chat.
Okay.
The report is coming in to all the command officers and staff. So y'all know what the hell they were talking about.
And Dan, I got a copy paste on it.
And for funsies, red alert sounds on both ships.
I will hurry up to the bridge to take my station.
If red alert sounds, that means shields are up, which means I can't beam over to the Svalinn, so I'm content starting on the next phase.
Status report.
To Grouse, I'll give you this. And I also gave the XO of the Svalinn the same info.
Hello.
Captain Calder, there appears to be a subspace vortex opening up on the starboard side. Water is being ejected from it. And it looks like more of these creatures as well.
Prepare to evade and use the potential content from the vortex and send the sensor data to the expedition.
Relaying data to the expedition and making sure that Elle sees it as well directly.
Yep. And on the expedition, not only did the commander receive the report from his officers, also got the report from the Svalinn.
Is this a brief event or is it continuing?
It's currently in progress.
Ops, see if you can't trace the subspace disturbance. Assuming this water is coming from somewhere.
Ogas, hail the expedition.
Hailing the expedition?
Hail from the Svalinn, Captain.
On screen.
In case you want to attempt to get attempt to investigate the this vortex, you have my permission to use the Delta Flyer in my ship.
I think we can manage without using either cases. Science, see if you can't track where the vortex is going to.
Captain, can we launch a probe?
Yes, Ogas, fire a probe and set up a live feed to both the Spawn and the expedition.
Looks like it just closed up.
Then, in case then prep the probe in case another one comes up.
No, Captain.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
I literally was talking while the red alert was going off saying, Ops, scan, see if you can't trace that. While everyone was talking over me. So
I had heard that and started, and it disappeared while I was scanning.
Unable to launch the probe in time, Captain.
Then continue the plan to prep one, then launch it in case we see it again.
Roger.
Oh, this is scene 2, by the by.
Okay.
If we're on the expedition bridge, I don't know if we're flipping back and forth, but DeGrasse will say, Lieutenant, based on your report, you said that the creature that you examined was a few hours old?
A few hours dead, Commander.
So, Captain, that might imply that we could potentially see these disturbances every couple hours.
Should we try to investigate or continue our course and drop off the station? I'll let you decide, Fax, hence you are the ranking officer.
how far away did the subspace anomaly appear before us?
500,000 kilometers, let's say.
Is that
I just posted an analysis from both ships in chat for you guys too. Sorry, Captain.
I will note, Captain, this vortex was smaller than the one that caused the ice field that we initially encountered, Captain.
Could it have been something that's happened time over time, repeatedly, that caused it?
Was that query directed at me?
No, I was suggesting it to the science officer.
Running an analysis of the expansion pattern now. No, Lieutenant Commander. It would have. Its expansion pattern is not consistent with several small ones. It would have been a single large event.
Nadon, is it possible that someone could be expelling these creatures using some sort of subspace wormhole or vortex to remove them, and our current warp field bubble apparently altering the dump site?
I'd have to run some simulations to be certain, Captain, but it's likely possible.
Yeah, Nadon, I could give you a roll for that.
Nadine, check roll 20.
Yeah, I just saw that.
All right, so what are we doing?
I'll be running those simulations. I guess Lieutenant L wants to run some more advanced scans.
L, what scans are you wanting to run?
Try to figure out what is causing this rift or whatever, and see if if I could also use a long range scan to see if I can find another end to it.
That's kind of what Nadon's doing, so you might be able to just assist her.
I had a thought on something you could scan for. Can we check the ice to see if it has the molecular or chemical composition of a nearby planet or something like that?
I could give you a roll for that. Yes. Astrophysics. I don't think so, Nadine.
Okay. Uh,
But Al, if you wanted the roll for what Rose just suggested, that's a good roll. You'd have to sell me on a theory and a practice, though. I'm not sure how that would apply in this case.
I've already done a sensor scan this mission.
On this same topic?
It doesn't have to be the same topic.
Yes, it does. That definitely is a. It has to be the same focus area.
Right, sensor operations.
On the same topic, basically. Just because you did something with the same focus does not automatically turn that on.
yeah, it does have to cover the same scientific or technological field earlier in the same adventure, is the wording from the book.
Right.
Um,
I'll take computer's focus, Nadine.
alrighty. I'll spend to get 1 extra die. Momentum, that is.
Okay, then I just need expedition assist with computers science for simulation. You gain a momentum off of that. You were trying to run a simulation on where it originated from?
I was basically checking Captain Prax's question from earlier.
Refresh my memory just so I could give you the right info.
It was basically trying to determine where the where it originated from. I do think it was that, if memory serves. I apologize. We kind of had 2 simultaneous conversations at once, and I lost track of.
So did I. I had 4 conversations going on.
That's fair.
I think Prax has given us an update on what she wants looked at.
Yeah, thanks, Prax.
While Prax is doing that, is anyone doing roast suggestion? I believe yours was trying to determine if this came from any nearby planets.
Yeah,
The water, at least.
I'll do Ross's suggestion.
Okay. I'll go ahead and if you want, you could use the Svalinn stuff because you could bridge the consoles together. I'll waive the roll for that because you kind of already done it. So you could either use the expedition sensors or the Svalinn sensors, whichever you'd like. Either way, that is ultimately going to be a difficulty 2 because of the advanced sensors.
You might be a bit better off using the expeditions because I think theirs are slightly better.
be able to use not theory into practice, but the testing of theory.
That will not apply here.
Use one momentum for an extra die.
Yep.
Roll do you want for it? Oh. Same thing. Reason, science.
Yeah, that's fine. Then just need a ship roll sensor science. Oh, and L, you need to roll one more dice because you bought one with momentum. I thought anyway.
Said I just didn't mark it.
Okay, I'll mark the momentum spend.
And then just need whoever's sensor science for his roll.
What ship do you want to use, L? Svalinn or Expedition?
It really doesn't matter. Either ship's fine. They're linked, so it doesn't really matter.
Captain, it appears that the our warp bubble was not affecting it. The location appears natural, for want of a better term, unaffected by us.
How far apart are the disturbances? And GM, did we gain any momentum off our roll?
Oh, I believe you did. I said yours one. You gained one off of yours.
And yeah, I'll use Captain Prax's question as mine. How far apart are they?
Come back to answer yours. I'd answer somebody else's.
Okay.
GM, I'll message you what exactly Ross wanted me to scan for. He sent. I talked to him by message. Direct copy and paste.
Yeah, that's the answer. It does not.
Captain, they're less than 5 million kilometers apart.
Do you theorize you can come up with a way to stop these vortexes from appearing if you can calculate when the next event will appear? Or do you think it will subside on its own?
Can I are my simulations robust enough to extrapolate for that?
Just answered that too.
Oh, Perfect. Captain, without knowing the cause of this, it's difficult to make predictions like that, unfortunately. I don't know.
Is everything silent, or is it just me?
What's that?
Just the long pause of silence.
No, there's just so much conversation going on that we're canceling each other's wave frequencies.
It's possible. I mean, Adon and Prax were talking. If you didn't hear that, it might be something with your end. Any other questions for any of the information I gave? And L, was that I'm that's what he asked, and that's what the answer is. I don't know if you were asking for something else.
I do have one more question. Based on the event that we observed, is there any subspace signature I could program the computer to keep an eye out for, to see if one of these happens
For
or
a
is going to
moment,
happen?
for a momentum, I will give you an extra piece of info.
Okay. Let's do it, I guess.
I'm sorry, L, you were about to say something.
Yeah, I think it was kind of redundant since we had already found that out earlier. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, it got you more momentum, so. Yeah, I did really feel like it was the same question that you asked during the extended task, but. Right.
I do have a question.
Sure.
And if I have to use a momentum spin for it, fine. What is it the water composition? Is it our normal H2O composition, or is there another similar composition that this ice is made up of?
This will not cost a question. It is normal, everyday drinking H2O. There's not really any other chemicals in it. There's no compounds. It's water and basically these creatures in it.
Frozen in space.
Yes. Water in its solid form.
Can I check uh, the the computer core database to see if there's been any other instances of of water surviving like this out in space or in like ice, aside from like an asteroid or something?
None to this extent. Yeah, basically the answer to that is nothing's on record of this scale. You know, you might get some ice here or there from a passing asteroid or comet, but okay. Any other questions? Because if not, you guys can feel free to role play the information with each other.
Captain, I thought I should let you know we can detect when one of these vortices is about to form. It's only a few seconds, but it should give us enough warning to get out of warp and potentially avoid a catastrophic issue.
Understood. Send the information to Svalinn. Let's see if we can't figure out where these vortexes are coming from. Also, have a Class 9 probe ready for launch.
Yes, Captain. I'll forward the information to the Svalinn and tell the team to ready a Class 9 probe.
Lieutenant L,
Svalinn,
I'm assuming you
sorry.
would like to return to your vessel.
If there's no further need for me with the project below, yes, I would be happy to return.
If I'm assuming if Lieutenant Don's research is concluded, then I'll notify the transporter room.
Yes, Captain. I think the additional investigation is likely been rendered obsolete by the latest development.
Very well. I will have transporter room. I'll notify transporter room for you, Lieutenant. And thank you.
Thank you.
Helm, soon as the transport has been completed, resume our course.
And a few minutes later, El, you are back on the Svalinn. And unless there's any other role play you guys want to do, I'll throw you guys back at warp. Okay. Back to warp. All right, we will enter scene number 3. So the ships have been traveling uneventfully for, I don't know, maybe another hour or so. So I'm going to give information to both of the science officers because of Nadan's advantage thing she created before the next part kicks off. So I'll give you guys a little bit to role play that. Do keep in mind there's not going to be much time after you say that.
Captain, a very large vortex is forming right under us.
Shields up.
Captain, we got a vortex. I'm launching the probe.
Make it so. Shields on. Helm. Begin emergency ascension.
All right. Once the captains give their orders, both ships start to shake. And the shaking causes all the vessels in the convoy to drop out of warp. And sensors on both vessels are showing a large vortex, larger than what has been scanned so far. And it is forming directly under the convoys. And as it starts forming and the ship starts to be hit with water and ice and a few more of those creatures, the ships start to shake violently, and almost as if you are being pulled, all the ships start to submerge into some type. Basically, all the ships submerge into some type of ocean. And a few seconds pass, and the ships stop shaking, and all you could see on your view screens is like your ships are currently underwater.
Is this what I think it is? And this is it definitely also in character. Is there a possibility this could be fluidic space?
Helm, what's our position in space?
I don't know, Commander. I'm not able to detect any stars here.
I think we might be dealing with a situation that Janeway might have dealt with in the Delta Quadrant.
Or this is another Q game.
If it was, he would have showed up already.
I'll shoot through the expedition really quick, as on your view screen as well, that's no longer Commander Calder. It is, for lack of a better term, a subspace ocean.
Captain, I can't get a bearing on where we are. I don't think we're where we were a few seconds ago.
You brought your swimsuit.
Begin
Are
a
the
sensor.
ship-
Begin a sensor sweep, and ops open up a communication to all vessels. Let's get a head count. Make sure we're all here.
Aye, Captain. Your sensors are able to detect all the ships are still in the formation.
Are the ships holding up to being underwater?
Funny you should ask that. I got a little bit more to read, and then we'll get to some other things going on. So the convoy, you find yourself, like I said, what can only be described. Your best set sensor at guess is it's a subspace ocean. It is not fluidic space. I know someone mentioned it. This is very much you are surrounded by water. In addition to, you also notice that surrounding all the vessels are swarms of those creatures. You know, thousands of them, hundreds, if not thousands of those creatures. The vast majority of them are those 1 meter creatures, but your sensors are picking up 3 other creatures that are much larger. And instead of giving like a meters, they're about scale 5. The other 3 creatures.
Can we get a visual?
That you cannot. I don't have one made for that. Just
I
let
would
me
like to
give-
direct L to scan it.
Looks like I might have stepped away for a minute.
Okay, so there were a lot of orders given out. So since I'm on the expedition screen, Captain, what were you ordering your crew to do?
Perform a sensor sweep of the area, which we kind of already got the gist of that.
Yeah, okay. And then the same orders were coming from the Svalinn, right? Sensor sweep.
If the expedition's going to do that, I might actually instead confirm a theory.
Okay, we'll come back to your theory in a minute. We'll go ahead and take care of the sensor sweep from the expedition. So basically, the sensor sweep is going to be for the swarm of those creatures, is going to be part of what the sensor sweep is. So this is going to be a reason or insight with science or medicine difficulty 3, assisted by the ship's sensor science or medicine.
Okay, I'll spend to get 1 extra die. So I want to make sure we succeed at this.
On the Svalinn, you should be down a momentum because of the scene change. Then just need the ship's sensor science. You gained 4 momentum off of that. Right, so I got them information. Read and dissect that. I'm going to head to this Svalinn really quick. Cal, I'm assuming you're wanting to do the same one. So go ahead and roll that, and then we'll come to the captain's theory.
Is this great legs or great mistakes?
Yes.
I'm taking a threat for that joke.
I'll have to explain that joke to you more later. Sensor operation now with the testing of theory and the practice apply?
Since because you're studying the creatures. That ultimately makes it a diff one because your sensors. Dear God.
Float mania.
You have the same problem I do.
Oh, and
Can't throw
DeGrasse,
anything-
we're gonna come back to that problem in a minute. Just need the Svalinn to roll.
Sense of science.
Yeah, we forget about that sometimes.
All right. You gain 4 momentum as well. That's the same information I gave Nadon. Read and hold on to that. I'm going to jump to your captain really quick, because he said he had something he wanted to pitch. So I'm going to go ahead and give it to Calder. And you do have 3 float. You got to figure out what you want to do with.
Yeah, 3 float and free science question.
Yeah. We'll come back to that. I wanted to get whatever you were working on going.
Pretty much, I have a theory on where we might be, but first I have to pull up a previous log from a Saiyan Intrepid class.
Oh, yeah, I was kind of already answering that. Because you mentioned fluidic space, you did the check already. This is not that. This is very much what you can only be described as a subspace ocean.
Okay, good. Good. No bumping into 8472.
No, this is not that. Seems like it, feels like it, maybe, but not that. Okay, so anything else anybody wanted to do before I go to the next problem that's coming up that people are already alluding to in chat?
Can we get information on what the sensor sweep was that we did?
Oh, yes. Yeah, we'll go ahead and do that. I'll jump to the expedition. We'll take care of you guys first. Nadon, you got the info, and then we'll jump back to the Svalinn, and then I'll take care of the pressure issue.
Captain, there's a large swarm of the creatures that we saw earlier, and larger creatures that appear they could be larger items of the same species. The smaller ones are rubbing up against the bigger ones and against our ships.
Lieutenant, see if you can't pull up all the logs from when we encountered the species. I'm blinking on top of my head. Their homeworld existed inside a subspace bubble.
Yes, Captain. I'll see if I can pull those logs.
We could be dealing with this situation. Tactical. Adjust our structure integrity field to match the pressure.
Right. Let me jump to this Svalinn really quick. Feel free to roleplay your information.
Relayed it, and I put it as a emote in roll 20.
All right, cool. So now the next issue. I already rolled challenge dice for this. All the ships, either engineering section, so this would be Roast on the Svalinn, and the acting engineering chief from the expedition are reporting increased pressure on their hulls from the water. the expedition and its size is able to deal with it better. Before anything bad happens. However, the Svalinn, because I rolled an effect on your roll. Oh. Your hull is starting to buckle, and you have minor hull breaches in a few areas. And now I got to roll another challenge dice. Okay. So nothing too bad happens. The Svalinn, your hull is starting to buckle, and there has been reports of flooding in a few of those sections.
I'll start to work on increasing the structural integrity field, sealing breaches, dispatching damage control, all that.
Yes. Block off sections of the ship that have too much flooding.
Okay, so for the expedition, I'm going to make your roll a difficulty 3 to shore up the structural integrity fields. On the Svalinn, I'm going to make that a difficulty 4 because of the effect from earlier. Oh, yeah, thanks for reminding me. Any questions on those?
We still have the float too.
Yeah, let me go ahead and get any questions. I see Nadon's.
Yeah, I messaged you it.
Does there appear to be an up that we could go to reduce the pressure?
Oh, before we get to the damage, Svalinn, we have float from the sensor scan that we have to deal with. We don't get to keep it. We have 3 float we got to dispose of. Before we even get to the fact that we're taking damage.
Right.
We have to use this in the form of sensor questions and answers?
Yes. More advantages with the sensors.
I think the big one was, is there an up that we can go to try and reduce the amount of pressure on the hull?
I will take that as a question. There's not. The pressure is pretty uniform throughout all of this, at least from what your sensors are saying.
Again, out of character, Calder, do you have any suggestions for dealing with the float?
Nope.
Try and detect to see if there's another subspace portal vortex opening that we can get out of here. Maybe start looking for that.
I will take that as another one. You do not detect any.
And then do the other 2 float for an advantage to if we have to scan these creatures again for like finding a weakness or whatever, use that advantage on that just to dispose of the float.
Yeah. I will let you create an advantage that if you need to phase your way through them, you could create an advantage then for a weakness or whatever.
So Calder, we can expend the 3 float, bring us back down to 6.
Okay.
And then as far as the structure breach, but yeah, we would be activating like all our force fields in like the breached areas.
Yep, that's the plan. I said that.
Watertight, specifically watertight.
Yep. Yeah, the damage control repairs to the structures is just now the task roles I set up is to shore up the structural integrity so that this doesn't happen again. So it'll be a diff 3 for the expedition, diff 4 for the Svalinn because of the earlier effect.
Okay. Arthur, can you pull up Zogor's sheet?
Yeah, I have Zogar's sheet.
wanna explain who Zogar is to everyone?
Zogar's the second tactical officer, and he's also our cross-cultural Gorn on transfer for some silly reason.
Okay. One threat, two momentum for 4 dice. And with that threat, activates bold.
How much threat you giving me?
1.
I do enjoy threat. This is not a shield task. This is structural integrity.
And the exact role was control, security, or engineering.
This will be engineering, control engineering, or daring. I'll throw some daring in there.
Okay.
Control or daring.
Well, you did. Yeah.
Have my assistant assist.
I mean, this. I thought this would be a security thing, or is engineering.
It is engineering because of the structural integrity aspects.
Okay, then my mistake. Instead of activating Zogar, just
Activate Liv, or have Ross take the lead and Liv can assist.
yeah.
Yeah. Frost is a. Do you get the advantages of XO or do you get the advantages of chief engineer?
He gets chief engineer.
All right, you have him as chief engineer. Okay, so then you get the chief engineer advantage, which means you basically have an engineering team while you're on the ship to use to create some sort of advantage.
Will that reduce the difficulty, or?
Yes, you could use it to do that. Yes. It'd be like you're sending your engineering teams to the exact locations to do this, so they're assisting you in that. So yeah, it reduced the difficulty, so yours would also be 3.
Okay. I'll make the roll, and I'd like to spend 3 momentum to get me up to 4 dice.
Okay. Would the ship assist in this? Yeah, ship would probably get structure engineering here. Right,
So
you get
that's
2 momentum back, so you're at 5.
Nice.
Right, and then I just need the expedition for the same roll.
Just use Sokolov, whoever wishes to roll for him. Whoever wishes to roll for Sokolov on the expedition.
Yeah, I can roll for him. Okay, control engineering.
I believe it's difficulty 3 for us.
Perfect.
Yes, it is.
Structural engineering for focus?
Yes.
Perfect. And take a threat.
I do like threat. I need more threat. You just need to give me more.
Do you want 2 more?
No.
Captain steps in.
I just need your ship. Gain 1 momentum back. Okay, both ship structural integrity fields have been adjusted, modified. So you do not have to worry about the pressure on your ship from the water. You also have all the information from the swarms. And so I'll give you a few minutes in character to have fun with that information. So just let me know where you guys want to be.
Is the Starbase with us?
Yes, it is. It is in there with you, as well as the Cloudsdale. The entire convoy is in there.
Where no starbase has gone before.
So any ideas on how we could get out of here?
Not sure how we got in here.
I mean, all we know what brought us here, but why? Because all we've seen them is bring stuff out of it. Well, we bring stuff out of this ocean. This stuff for the first time, it being inside.
So the critters that came out of the vortex, the ones we saw frozen in space, then the second vortex opened, and the third vortex that we got sucked into, these all appear to be identical.
Maybe, but we don't know what's causing these the things. We know what they are, but we don't know what's making them.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see if we're all in the same,
Yeah.
coming from the same place, and maybe the time differential between the second vortex open that we saw, then the third one that sucked us in. How long was that time? Maybe there'll be another opening.
Maybe, but
Assuming it's cyclical.
I mean, like, there's another problem is if we do, will both these ships will this entire convoy will be engulfed in ice, and we don't know how much damage that will be because of the ships coming out. Can you link us to the expedition audio only? So we have everyone available to hash out a plan.
Sure can. So I'll give the same opportunity for some RP on the expedition before the Svalinn attempts to hail you.
Lieutenant Nadon, do you think there's any correlation between the star system that we encountered that existed in a subspace pocket could be similar nature to this? The species that existed in there were able to generate their own method of getting out. I'm wondering if it's possible we can recreate something like that.
Certainly, it seems like the subspace pockets are similar. I can pull the contemporary scanner records, and see if I can recreate what that species did.
Pull whatever resources you need, Lieutenant.
Hi, Captain.
From the Svalinn captain, audio only.
put them through.
Channel's open, Svalinn.
Svalinn here. We we're hailing you so we can have all hands on deck to find a solution. And and while waiting on the call to pick up, there might be a possibility that our ship dealt with something closely simulated to this.
Recently?
Yes. I'll let my science officer explain about it, because he was the first one who heard about it before we did our actual investigation of it.
Turn towards the screen and explain that we recently encountered what is best described as a space kraken, and explain it how we dealt with that. Which, out of character, I don't remember exactly what we did again.
We blew it up.
Yeah, it was torpedoes in the gullet.
Yeah, plus we do have kind of heavy scans of it, and bits of its.
You do have some biosamples, and you do have extensive scans of it, and it did have similar behavior of popping in and out of subspace randomly.
So, I'll have I'll create a data packet of that, then share the info with you.
So you can find some correlation between the two.
Well, I mean, figure out a way to simulate its ability to move from one space to another, even if it's just a once in a blue moon activation.
Understood. I'm open to entertaining all ideas. It is possible. But we did encounter a event that's close related to this one, to where we encountered a species that their home system existed inside a subspace bubble. They had a way to transverse between our space and theirs. Hopefully, we can recreate the similar event, or perhaps induce a subspace vortex to get us out of this area of space. The question is, though, this subspace bubble is most likely overlapping our normal space time. So, depending on how vast this region is, we could succumb to more events like this.
I mean, is there a possibility that this is like, if we, and also we talked about, like, if we do, we might deal with the problem with, if we do go out, this convoy has the chance of being engulfed in ice, and I don't know what damages that would cause to our ships.
I suggest we have both our engineering teams work on a way to repel water molecules from the ship. Perhaps having the outer hull temperature heated up to a certain degree would keep the formation of ice off of our ships. But one problem at a time, Commander. Let's figure out a way to get out of here first.
Okay. I believe our ship's comms linked linked up in case something happens.
Very well.
Okay, so on both ships' view screens, you start to see that two of the larger creatures, the scale 5 ones, are starting to swim towards each other. And almost the entire swarm is getting closer, if not following, trying to get closer to those two large creatures. And you notice that both of the scale 5 creatures start to kind of spin around each other.
Ooh,
And
we
you
should follow.
notice that both of the creatures are there's some type of electrical discharge that is happening between the two creatures. And your sensors are picking up that because of this action, there is a large energy buildup happening, both because of this motion and because of the electrical discharges given off by the creatures. As the two large creatures start to spin faster, the water around them starts to whirl, almost causing like an underwater tornado. And as this is happening, more and more of the smaller creatures start gravitating toward that point. All the while, the two large creatures start to spin faster and faster, building up more and more energy, until suddenly a burst of energy emanates from both of them. And you notice and sensors log a rush of water expelling from subspace as a small opening is formed. In subspace, you are able to scan out and detect normal space. Before the vortex suddenly stops and the creatures, the two large creatures dissipate, and your scans of the smaller creatures seems that they took in some of this energy that was burst from the larger creatures. It's almost like the smaller creatures fed off of that energy.
Well, it looks like we found our ticket. Or, Lieutenant, do you think you could recreate that using the ship's deflector array?
Worth a try, Captain.
How long was the vortex open?
Not long at all. A few seconds, maybe. And GM is spending 5 threat to have some fun.
Check roll 20.
I see you, Tony.
I'm probably just about to answer that. Commander Calder, do you like high or low?
I'm a gambling man, so high.
Okay. From the Svalinn, you notice the third large creature is swimming up to the Expedition. And it swims alongside it, and it starts to spin around the Expedition, similar to the way you just noticed the two other large creatures were doing. And the Expedition, you probably see this on your sensors as well.
This is the part where I above game out of character confidently grab my side and sigh of relief.
Above game question.
All right, so on the expedition, Nadan, you notice that the third large creature swims up to your ship and begins swimming around it, around the entire hull. Basically swimming around the sides of it. Not fore and aft, but like side to side, like, over the top, over the bottom type thing.
Okay.
And as it is doing that, your lights on the bridge start to flicker.
Is it pulling energy from us, or is it just interfering with us?
Give me insights, engineering.
Yeah. Or is it trying to communicate with us? Actually, what's the difficulty?
Difficulty 2. It was pretty easy to learn.
Okay, my insight is not great, so I will spend for an extra die.
Oh, it's not
I say
great.
that.
What focus did you use?
Oh shoot! Shouldn't have had a focus. My bad.
Okay, so then it is just 3 successes. So you gain 1 momentum.
Okay.
It is pulling energy, and sometimes maybe even pushing some back. Mostly pulling at this point.
Good. Does the pattern of energy flux, or rather, does the energy flux have any systematic pattern to it? Sorry.
What do you mean?
I'm wondering if the energy flux could be an attempt at communication by this creature.
Sorry, what was that?
I said I'm wondering if the energy, like the drawing of energy and occasionally sending some back, could be an attempt at communication.
It's a good guess. You're not sure. So this continues to happen as you're scanning. I would say, Nadan, the best guess is this is natural behavior, that maybe this sees you as one of them due to the size of the ship and the shape.
Okay. Captain, the creature appears to be pulling some energy from us, but it appears to be treating us like another one of these large creatures.
Well, Captain, this could be an opportunity or could be a bit of a danger.
Do you think you can cancel out the energy effect?
And just as the captain, you say that line, the bridge goes completely dark for a few seconds before the power comes back on. Your ship just lost 4 power. As soon as it pulls that power, the creature starts trying to spin faster around your ship.
When it was creature to creature, they were spinning around each other, right?
Correct.
Signal both the Svalinn and the Clydesdale to get ready to move. helm begin mimicking the pattern of the large creature. Engineering boost power reserve supplies. So engineering test first to get more power back.
All right. Power management task, please.
EPS for focus.
Yes.
It's what, difficulty 2?
Yeah, I believe. I don't think the ship has an assist here.
No, that Asia doesn't. Take 1 threat. That's for activating night.
Okay. Gain a momentum back. Or gain a momentum, and then put however much power you need. Well, you gain 1, and then you could spend to gain more.
Well, we have improved power systems, so
2 for the price of 1.
So with that float, that puts us back up. Or well, yeah, the momentum gain. That puts us back up to max, and then 2 more momentum to put us up to 15 power.
Okay.
To overcharge the batteries, I guess.
Yep. Okay, so you have to tell me exactly what you guys are doing.
We're going. The idea is to mimic what the other big whale is doing to generate the vortex.
Okay. So yeah, basically you guys need to tell me what task you are trying to do.
First to manage to do the same power output as what the whale's doing to mimic it.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me. This is probably going to be a difficulty 3 control engineering to export the power.
EPS systems for focus.
Yes.
Take a threat. Ship assist.
It probably should, right? Engine. Let's go engines engineering. Okay, you start outputting the power. How much power do you output?
4.
Okay. All right. So the expedition, you output the power it did, and as soon as you do, the large creature swims away.
Well, that's one way to get rid of them.
Certainly seems like it didn't like what we did.
Keep in mind, you still are on comms with the Svalinn.
Maybe the
yes, you
wrong
did.
frequency, or Can we look through the sensor logs from the last time the two creatures were dancing together?
I'm gonna move over this Svalinn because you guys need to role play that out.
Captain, based on what the expedition just did, we can make a second attempt using an inverse frequency, an inverse energy frequency.
Do you think that's gonna work?
But so they swam away. So think of it like a magnet. Either they attract or they repel.
Expedition can totally hear this.
Yeah, you guys are linked to each other, so you guys
Yeah,
are hearing
so-
the conversations. In fact, this might. Well, continue your role play because we might go to scientific method after that.
Inverse or otherwise complementary. Because if the same frequency didn't work, either we need an opposite
Maybe.
worth a shot, worth trying.
Yeah, better than being trapped here.
Is there a way to check the sensor logs to see, what the two creatures were doing, what interaction they were having?
Pretty much, L nailed all that. That's why I was having them role played out.
Gotcha.
The expedition already did that, and observing that and seeing what went wrong, that L's making these recommendations to correct what went wrong with the expedition's attempt.
I see.
If you think it's if you think it's because they should have done the opposite instead of matching to
Is
be
it
able
considered Zag?
It's a theory. I'm not saying that's definitely how it is, but we could either spend the time to investigate it, we can make a second attempt, or we could make the second attempt, and if we have to go back to the drawing board, we go back to the drawing board. It wouldn't hurt to make the attempt.
Yeah, this sounds like the perfect opportunity to use the game's scientific method.
It's true.
Okay, let's do it.
Let me pull to the page. I get this right.
Do you want to have yourself and Patterson on the expedition because their ship is more equipped?
Well, we don't have to worry about who's where yet. First, we're just going to run the scientific method. So this is, it's more of, it's not really in character. This is more all the players are talking and trying to come up with a solution. So the first thing we need is we need to figure out what department we are going to use for any roles. So this would be, is it an engineering issue? Is it a science issue? Is it a medicine issue?
My guess is either engineering or science.
Engineering. Definitely more, well, yeah, kind of a combination of engineering science, true. But I would say it leans more towards engineering.
Okay. What does the expedition players think? You okay with engineering? Or you want to throw other suggestions out?
I can see arguments for both. I would say since we're trying to mimic the species' natural behavior, I'd lean more towards science. But that's me.
Yeah, I think I would agree.
Because the next part is you have to use focuses that apply to that discipline. So if you go engineering, for example, you'd use things like warp field dynamics and such. If you use science, it'd be more like xenobiology or stuff like that. So yeah, that's why it's, do you want to go engineering or science? I mean, Elle makes good points for all of that too. So it could really go either way. I could see it going. The solution I have in mind could go either. Because for some reason, I think Elle and I are on actually the same wavelength with the solution. I'm curious after this game if we are.
Because it's going to depend on the ship's output. From we're going to have to do something with the engines, with the with ship's capabilities. We could use a deflector dish, but even then, it's going to have more to deal with the power and the energy signatures than the actual science involved.
So can we rig the deflector dish to output the type of energy that the critter seems to like better?
This is why we got to go through the scientific method.
Yeah. Because we got to pick the discipline and the focuses, and then we start figuring out what the solutions are. So like what you just suggest, Rose, would be a solution. We just got to fit it into a couple things first.
A thought just came up to me.
We can always reset and start over.
Yes.
A thought just appeared in my mind. Would we need to use a creature to set up this energy play anything? Can we just have one ship to do one and the other ship the other to make our own?
Yeah. Say let's do it as a friendly competition. Now let's run the scientific method independently.
Well, I meant more.
But yeah. So again, that is a possible solution. We're almost to the solutions. That's a good one. Elle's suggestion is a good one. I'm sure we have good suggestions. We just got to figure out the discipline and the focuses first.
Yeah.
So, engineering or science, really. And if you guys decide to change it later, if I say none of those work, you guys could change it later. But I just need to know which one.
Engineering.
So pretty much a tiebreaker because I'm guessing. Which one did last pick for a focus? Well, the department.
I have Starship Power Systems as a focus. That would.
All right, I'm gonna make this easy. We'll just do a majority vote for that. If you like engineering or you like science, just vote. Thumbs up one, and whoever has more thumbs up will use that. Just so we can power through this.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, sir.
So we can get to the solutions really. All right. Looks like it's going to be science. All right. I need 3 focuses that fit into science on what the solution could be. So like this would be like xenobiology, whatever the hell else things in science you could think of. Brain's not functioning right now. And you do not have to have this focus, so it could be anything. But then once you have the focuses, we'll start trying to fit the focuses into solutions.
Xenobiology would be an obvious one in this case. Suggest that one.
All right, I guess the focuses aren't that important because it actually says players are encouraged to throw out ideas on what might be happening and try to fit them in the focuses. So the focuses aren't really that important. Really, it's the solutions that is more important. So let's just jump to that. Solutions to the problem, and then I'll fit in whatever the hell I can later. Or let's come up with solutions, and then from the solutions we'll come up with focuses, and we'll see if they fit. How's that sound? So yeah, so how Calder and Al were starting to throw out solutions. Let's start throwing those out. I'll fit the rest in later.
Science and engineering books.
I mean, the two solutions that we thought of so far are pretty good.
Yeah, just run them past, run them to the group so I can get them jotted down.
These are more on
Okay.
no.
Well, I mean, like one solution is to either use the assistance of one of the creatures to make this vortex by using the positive negative, or having just the Svalinn and the expedition both do a positive and negative of this energy to do our own.
Okay. Any other solutions?
Using the probably the Svalinn and the Expedition's deflector ray to create a diametric field, diametric subspace field to open the vortex.
I feel like that might be more helpful because the expedition is more experienced with that kind of tech.
For a bit of a gonzo one, managing to convince two of the creatures to open a vortex near the all of our ships.
Finding a
Trying
way to
to somehow,
communicate with them.
yeah, trying to somehow induce them into making a big vortex so we can get out.
Shove them together.
Actually, that based on what we already know, that's one way we could do it. Is both ships get on the far end of two of these, and we do the repelling technique to get them to go close to each other and let them do their thing.
Well, one of them became attracted to the expedition, so that might cause
You're
a
the
problem.
prettiest.
Yeah.
So our options right now are to dance with another creature, see if we can replicate the dance that the two creatures do without them, or induce two of them to do it.
Let's just go with these because it's between 3 to 5, and I think the smaller number right now is better.
Is that we're needing? Okay.
All right, so I am seeing 4 solutions there. So really what we need here is so number 1, we got to try to fit those solutions into focuses. I already wrote one for the deflectors. That's basically like deflector field theory. which is a science. So it's just trying to fit the other 3 into some type of focus, and then we'll nominate a lead researcher that is going to pick which ones. You could use 3 to 5. I always recommend to go with the lower, because then there's less chances of not rolling for the right one.
Cultural studies for one, I guess, to mimic. It's a cultural thing, I guess. Or xenobiology.
You probably also could get away with power systems.
Could probably call that animal behavior, to be honest.
Anthropology.
Is that what it is? Probably. Sure. I don't know if that's the right definition, but we'll use it.
Anthropology is for human beings.
It's for people. Yeah.
Whale apology.
You guys want me to throw out some?
Yeah, go for it.
You probably could get away with EPS power systems too.
If we're going engineering, I say yes. This is science.
Oh, my bad.
Interaction of subatomic particles.
For which one? That's probably better for that one instead of that one. Quantum mechanics. Yeah, to me, the focuses are a less important part. The solutions are the more important part to me. So really what we need now is a lead researcher to decide which ones we're rolling for. Remember, we went to science pool, so you got to think science because that's the stat we're using. And then anyone that has a science score of at least 2 can help to roll for this. We'll basically assist the head researcher.
The focus picked. What's the pot of focuses?
What's that?
What is the pot of focuses? What are all the focuses that got picked?
So far I got deflector field theory, the code for the deflector shield, to use the deflectors to create the vortex. I'm thinking animal behavior or something along those lines to coax the creatures to do it. And I don't know what to think for using one of the ships.
Unified field theory. I'm throwing that out there, but
What the hell is that?
Once considered the holy grail of scientific community. It is essentially the scientific principle, or well, artificial grab plating, inertial dampers, focus being used the character utilizes, or investigating how different fundamental forces such as magnetism or gravity interact with one or another.
You know what? Yes. For the other two ones, we'll use that one.
Wouldn't that be combining them though?
It'll be for, well, it could apply to both. It don't matter. None of that matters. It's the solutions I care about, not so much the focuses. All right, who wants to be lead researcher? This person should have the best science stats. And if you have one of those focuses, all the better, but
Definitely want one of those focuses.
but it's not a requirement, of course.
I don't have any of the focuses, but I think it'd be either me or L.
I defer to you. I think the Svalinn. I'd like us to try on an engineering attempt.
Well, everyone gets the roll on this. Like, this is a combined dish. This is a combined thing. Like, everyone rolls for this.
But your lead should definitely try to have a focus in it. Otherwise, this may go real bad, especially on time, because scientific method does take up a lot of time.
Well, from the rule book, they don't need the focus. It's just if you have the focus, you get to use the focus range. But if not, it's basically just the same roll.
Yeah. Should we activate Patterson to help?
That's if you have crew support left. I'm not sure how many you used.
We only used one. No, wait, two. So we got two more. What's your thoughts on bringing out Patterson now?
What focuses does he have?
Let's not focus on what focuses he has. Just you have another science person given you.
Yeah.
You a assist.
Okay, so basically all we need, I think we're overcomplicating something that's actually very easy. All we need is for somebody to be the head researcher. This is somebody that should have the best science score. And probably the best reason or insight. Everyone else that has at least a 2 in science will assist the head researcher.
15 between science and insight, and a combined of 16 between reason and science. Sorry, insight and science is a 15. Reason and science is a 16 for me.
And then the only other people I could think that have a score close to or higher than that is either Nadon or the doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah, my reason science is a 15.
Mine's a 17.
Yes, definitely Nadon has the highest stat.
Okay. So Nadon, you are designated the head researcher. So what you're going to do, so what we do now is you're going to choose 3 to 5 of what everyone just said, all the solutions. Okay, and then once you present which ones you want to present to me, I will come up with some difficulty for the task. But cannot tell you what the difficulty is. And then you would roll for that, for whichever one you choose, and you have to try to guess if which one is the right one. So yeah, so Nadan, you, out of all the solutions you guys have said, and I kind of already wrote them out, you just got to tell me which ones you want to use. And you just number them 1 through whatever, and then you're gonna pick one that everyone starts rolling against, and if it's correct, if you get the right one, we'll move on. If not, you would try yours back to the drawing board. But before we roll, I tell you if one of them is possibly correct, but I cannot tell you which one.
I say we do the first 3 of the list. Like, use those as the options.
We can't pick one of them.
And if I had to pick one, probably start with number 2.
Using the expedition. Okay, so hold on. First of all, you're picking. So the 3 you're presenting to me is use one of the creatures and one of the ships to try to mimic the behavior. That's number 1. Number 2 is use the expedition of the Svalinn to do the same. And then the third one is to use the deflector shields to open a rift.
Yeah.
Correct? One of those will work. I cannot tell you which.
Okay.
There could be more. I can't tell you that either. One of those 3 could work. All right, so now you choose which one you want to roll against, and then we start rolling some dice.
Yeah, and I'll try with this expedition and the Svalinn because that puts more under our control.
Okay. So Nadan, you will roll a task roll using either insight or reason and your science score, and everyone that has at least a 2 in science can assist. I have a difficulty in my head, but I cannot tell you. So you just have to kind of what you guys. It's kind of a little game we have to play between you and me. Is you got to get so many number of successes, and you got to hope that it's the right amount, or you have to move on to another one. And to have, what was that, Prex?
Nothing. Go ahead.
And just to add a little bit of tension to this, I'm just going to spend all my threat to make this happen. Because you guys gave me so much. On your sensors, you see a large creature. Larger than the 3 you have been dealing with. It is, to put this in game terms, it is a scale 10. And it is heading directly for the Starbase, swimming very, very quickly. You will only have 6 intervals in an attempt to figure out the right one and use it before the creature starts damaging the Starbase.
With intervals, can time management help?
Yes.
Well, it is my time. Do you want me to Google it now, or just wait until you finish the first batch?
What is time management?
During any challenge, extended task, or other activities under time pressure, the character may attempt a control command task with a difficulty 3. If this task succeeds, reduce the total number of intervals the player have taken by 1 for every 2 momentum spent. Repeatable, reduced by a further 1. The character may manage to minimize lost time. If the task fails, add 1 additional interval as the character effort actually wastes time.
That's in command book, right?
Oh yeah, that's in the command book, I think, if I recall.
I posted the wording in Discord.
Yeah. Like,
Did you call?
I'm going to give Nadam my determination.
Hey, I will use that determination immediately for free successes.
What value?
Uh, I'll probably go with the collaborative problem solving again.
Yeah, that works. Captain, I'll have you roll that right after the roll here. In fact, you know what? If you wanted to roll it now, that's fine too. Does not matter to me. And that just is a if he succeeds, every task is reduced to 1, basically.
Yeah, I get to reduce the time -1 and 1 additional time with every 2 momentum to spend if I choose to spend more momentum towards it.
Okay, so every time they roll, you could spend 2 momentum to what?
No,
It's usually after the way it reads.
Yeah.
Reduce the total number of intervals the players have taken by 1. So really, you're supposed to do it towards the end of the
okay,
task.
yes. So
like,
after
Oh, okay. So at okay.
or like during a point in time where you want to try to reduce the number of intervals that have already been taken.
Oh, got it. Okay, I got it. So if you're like, oh shit, we're at 6, let me do my time management and get some of it back. Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
Yeah. So I am your safety net in it.
Yeah, you tell me when you want to roll that. That makes more sense.
Okay.
I've never had someone with time management, and so it never comes up. That works. Yes to the focus, Nadon. Or sorry, the value.
Okay.
So yeah, so you could determine how many dice you want to roll, and then everyone that has a science score of at least 2 can assist.
I will roll 3 dice.
All right, so that'd be 2 momentum.
That's
All right,
3 plus
so for 5, 6, 7.
Doc.
And
I'll go for Patterson. For he has a 16 for reason science.
yep.
That is 1 success.
Counting 9.
That's what I got. What about the chief engineer on board the Svalinn?
I've only got a science of 1.
We'll spend a momentum to half the interval.
All right, so there's 9 successes, Nadon. So now you have the option to continue that one or try a different one if you think that it is wrong. But at the same token, if you think there's not enough successes, then you could also roll additionally in it. Yes, 5 out of 6.
Which focus was this on?
This was on using both Expedition and Svalinn.
What was the focus on it?
Unified field theory.
Oh, yes. Sorry.
Is that counting up or counting down for the 5 out of 6?
You have 5 intervals left.
Okay, so counting down. Okay.
Yes.
I spend a momentum to half it.
Okay. I was just wondering how you were doing it by counting up or counting down. That was it. I figured out it's counting down. So let's
If question for you. If we switch tack and then decide to come back, do we lose all of our progress, or does this just put a pause?
It just puts a pause.
Okay, that's less risky then. I will keep on this one for now. If we don't succeed at the next one, I'll switch.
Sounds good.
I'm not spending for extra dice yet. Right now.
Come on, complications. Thank you, Captain.
One success. For Patterson with the 15.
Yep, okay. All right, so Nadan, you and the rest of the researchers run the simulations, double check all the scans from when the creatures did their little dance or whatever you guys are going to end up calling it after this. And you feel like you have a good theory, and more specifically, a plan on how to use that between both of your ships. So you and your team create basically create how to do this step by step, and you start to implement it on both ships. That you get the con officers to start spinning the ships around each other to create that vortex effect. You have the engineering teams sending and receiving energy between the both ships to try to create that burst. And after a few minutes, the energy buildup around the ship starts to mimic that of that the creatures made. And with a little bit more energy expenditure, you're able to create a vortex, and more importantly, a vortex that leads back into subspace that is large enough for the entire convoy to fit through. And as you do that, all 4 of your vessels are expelled back into normal space before the large creature starts doing damage to the ship. Into the mirror universe. If only. And so all 4 ships find themselves back into normal space, and at around the same point that you entered. And all of your sensors and scans confirm that you are back basically where you are.
Are we still linked via communications, or did that cut when we jump planes?
Probably cut when you started the vortex, but it's very easy to get back online.
Okay, I'm going to relink the comm and ask, should we put some form of warning beacon in case some passerbys comes by and accidentally gets trapped, so they don't get trapped there by the lonesome?
We can do that, but there's no. It's potential that the warning beacon could also get pulled into that region of space. Let's flag it on the star charts and flag the nearest starbase of the potential hazard to warn all vessels.
And also send a report to Nea.
So
That-
should we?
That will get filed in the report
Okay.
to her.
I know we determined that our warp bubbles didn't cause this, but did our speed? If this is a delicate area of subspace here.
I mean, there's the chance that it was that we were just at the wrong place at the wrong time. Kind of situation like that could be a possibility.
In
Now,
either case, let's make a slight course altercation and let's try to avoid this area.
yep. Uh, let's start and reform the convoy, and let's quickly get out of here and quickly exfil this area in case this happens again.
All right. So, on the orders of both ships' captains, the convoy re-enters warp. And traveling at the new speed of around warp 9, the max I think you can go is 9.2, I think someone mentioned to me. You're able to get to the location within weeks as opposed to the months you originally thought it was going to take. And you after that journey, you arrive at the location in a nice binary star system. And as you arrive there, the Clydesdale relays back to you that they're going to start the anchoring process on the Starbase. And you are relieved to know that the job is done. And I think with that, we will call that the end of Pirouette.